I've been enjoying my time in Mexico. It's been a great experience. I'm glad to be back. I just walked past the bar that I got arrested in Mexico. It's called Bar Loco. I thought it'd be a good time to maybe share this story because it was something that really, once it happened, I was obviously a little panicked because I didn't know what was going on. I was arrested in a foreign country. No one knew where I was. It was scary, but I did learn a lot from it. I'm gonna walk past this noise real quick. Senor Frogs, if you're American and want to party, this is the place to go. But I learned a lot from when this happened. So the story is, this is how it went down. It was December 18th, 2022, and Argentina was playing France in the World Cup finals. And my girlfriend at the time was from Argentina, so she was super excited. We were having a good time, cheering. I'll post the video here somewhere. But I remember we were having a good time. It was the middle of the day, and I wasn't drinking. I was trying to be healthy, be on my best behavior, I guess. Not trying to drink, was just enjoying my time. And I was doing great. We were having fun, celebrating. I didn't feel like I needed to drink, I guess, because I was with my girlfriend at the time. So there was no real social pressure. But after the game, they call Playa del Carmen Playa del Argentina because of how many people from Argentina live here. So after the game, the streets start getting completely packed. People are out celebrating. It's basically a parade in the streets. And I was doing fine. I was thinking, okay, I'm having fun just celebrating. I don't need to party or have fun. But the more I thought about it, the more I started to think like I'm not fitting in this situation. Everybody knows somebody, they're all having fun. I kind of felt like I was not part of the group. So then I started talking myself into, okay, well, I'll have a few beers. It's not that big a deal. I told myself I wasn't gonna drink, but what's a few beers gonna do? And I don't know if you're familiar with like the term drifting. It's from the book Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. Fantastic audiobook. I highly recommend reading it. But the premise of drifting is doing things that is against your purpose, against your self-discipline, and the devil is kind of like taking over. Like he controls 98% of the population through drifting, such as things as smoking, drinking, just doing things that are against yourself. And this was a big example of it because I had committed during the day. I was not going to drink. I was fine with that. I was having a good time. I was being social with my girlfriend and her friends and cheering and laughing, and it was a good time. But once we separated and I became part of this crowd that I was not comfortable with, I immediately reverted back to my old self of needing something to feel good about myself. I needed a way to numb that anxiety. And so I chose drinking. I thought, what a good way. Everybody's partying. Hola, amigo. Everybody's partying. It's a big event. Why shouldn't I just have a few drinks? So I did that. It was fun for a while. I met some of the friends I had and we were partying. I'll post some of those pictures up here as well. And we're having a good time. But the way that I am, I don't have just a few beers and then I go home. To me, I don't know if that's an imbalance in my brain or I just don't function that way, but it was like 5 o'clock at night. My girlfriend was out with her friends. My other friends that I have in Playa were out doing something or wanted to go home for a little bit. And I didn't want to go home. I knew it was a bad idea. I went to Bar Loco, like I said. And it's a fine bar, but it's a cheap bar. It's kind of where, it's not like the high value crowd that I want to be associated with. A lot of the people there at that time, I don't want to judge everybody that goes there because it is a fun place. But going there at like 6 p.m. on a Sunday or whatever day the game was, there wasn't a lot of high value people there that I would want to associate. If I was not drinking, I would not have been there. I would not have wanted to be part of this particular crowd. But because I had no other friends, no real options, it was like, okay, I guess this is what I'll do now. And so I went there. Didn't really think about, how I said I wasn't gonna drink anymore, even though I committed to not doing that. I just was like, okay, I guess this is my night now. I know it was a bad decision. I'm just gonna deal with it. Having done that, I got upstairs to the bar, and there was a guy who was spitting over the edge, like pouring his beer over the edge, just being like a complete dickhead. I don't know if you've ever run into these guys, that they're just angry people. They just want to cause chaos to make others feel like shit, just to cause destruction. And I was thinking, I saw this happening, and I remember thinking, like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't want to be around this guy particularly. But he was with his sister, who we started talking. She was kind of cute. She was showing me interest. So I started talking to her, thinking, I guess I'm not the one doing it, so what's the big deal? But looking back, I obviously should not have been around this guy. Like, bad energy, just a dickhead. Didn't want to be around him at all. Just hanging out, talking to his sister, not really thinking about anything, because I wasn't personally doing anything wrong. It didn't register to me that I would get in trouble for anything. But because he was spitting over the edge, pouring his drinks on people, the cops got called. And then the cops came up and they took all three of us downstairs. I was trying to plead my case. I wasn't really worried about it at that point because I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just here in Mexico. I live here. I'm not causing any trouble. Sure, I've been drinking, but I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't know what they were saying. I couldn't plead my case. They weren't really listening to me anyways. So they arrest us. They put me in handcuffs. They put me in the back of this truck. No one knows where I am. I haven't talked to my friends all day. They're not gonna let me text somebody and tell them I'm getting arrested. So they put me in this truck. They end up taking me like 20 miles out of town or wherever the jail is. It seemed like a long drive. And it's the middle of Mexico. I'm used to Playa del Carmen, which is like resort world. Like, I'm not worried about being unsafe here. I know everything around here. I'm fine. But they take me to this jail in the middle of nowhere. No idea where it is. And like I said, I don't speak Spanish. They're not speaking English. So they're booking me. They're getting my picture taken. One of the security guard or the police officers he wasn't really listening to what I say. At this point, I'm just accepting what's happening. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, what's the big deal? I wasn't doing anything wrong. I'll be back by 10 p.m. I can still go back and drink some more, have a crazy night with the Argentinians, and just really celebrate. Like, that was my mindset. My mindset wasn't, oh, well, you were drinking when you said you weren't going to. These are the consequences. I was just thinking immediately, hey, I'm going to be able to get back in time to drink some more. Obviously not the case. They book me. I'm standing there getting my picture taken. Bunch of just drunk people, like people I don't want to be around at all. And the security guard's like, he just kind of laughs at me and looks at me. He's like, hey, this is one of the very few things he said to me in English. Hey, they're going to have an interesting story to tell. He knew I was not going anywhere. I was not going to get released. I was going to be there for a while. Had no idea how long I was going to be there. They take my phone. They take everything I have. I still have my clothes and my shoes and stuff. And they put me in this tiny little cell. Maybe, I don't even know, 6 feet by 6 feet. And I'm in there with the drunk fucking asshole who got me arrested in the first place. And he's just passed out on the floor. So he's like sleeping it off. It's no big deal to him. Like, he doesn't even know what's happening. So I'm pretty furious at this point. And I'm like kicking him to keep him awake because, I'm in jail for really not doing anything wrong outside of like betraying my self-interest and my self-discipline. But I wasn't hurting anybody. I didn't do anything that I felt I should be in jail for. So I was getting pissed off. I kept trying to kick him awake, and then at some point I'm just like, all right, fuck this, whatever. But this jail cell, you know, it's 6x6, so very small, very tiny. There's a toilet in the back, but it's broken. There's shit smeared on the walls. There's piss on the floor. So there's nowhere to lay down. There's nowhere to sleep. So I'm basically pacing back and forth for hours. I have no idea how long I'm going to be there, how long, like what I'm even there for. Like they never told me what I was booked for. All right, it's getting pretty loud that way. I'll turn back around. Yeah, this is a great part of Playa if you've never been to this area. It's generally more quiet to stay. There's this place off the Vine here, which I made a little video for earlier. I'm gonna mash that together. But this is a great spot for dates if you ever come down to Playa and want a good spot for dates. It's a good wine bar off the Vine. They're probably on a date right now, laughing. But yeah, so this cell is very tiny, just pacing back and forth, shit on the wall. Hola. I couldn't lay down and sleep because obviously the floors were gross, but I saw rats coming in under the doorway, which I grew up in Wisconsin. I'm not used to seeing rats in places. And it was gross. And then also, just to give you a little more description of the jail. So yeah, I swear it's like my cell and then maybe 10 cells down, 10 cells on the other side. In the cell across from me and the ones, I don't know, from what I could tell, there's probably like 10 people in each cell. And people are just crammed together, laying down. I think they were there longer than however long I was supposed to be there. So luckily, I wasn't in one of those cells, but it turns out these cells weren't even locked. So people would just start walking up and down the cell and just kind of like staring at me. I was the only white guy in there. A lot of the guys had like face tattoos and would just stare me down, so I have no... Hola.
Hola, is this for YouTube?
Si.
Can I say hi?
Yes, you gotta say your name though.
My name's Olivia. Well, now I'm shy.
Yeah, you're so shy. Where are you from, Canada?
New Zealand.
No way. Kiwi.
Kiwi, yeah. Have you been?
No.
You should go. It's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You gonna take me to Lord of the Rings?
I've never even seen the movie before.
What?
Yeah.
I'm surprised I let you in your country. All right, I gotta get back to filming. Stop distracting. Good to see ya.
See ya. Wait, you gotta tell me the name of your...
Johnny Kendhammer. You remember it? That's it, guys. So yeah, there's 10 cells down, 10 cells, and these guys just leave their cells at any time, just kind of staring me down, face tattoos, like the kind of guys I do not want to be around at all. I guess I didn't feel too scared because I assumed if something happened, they would take care of it. But at the same time, like I don't want to get stared down by guys in jail with face tattoos. That's kind of scary. And there's dogs barking at the very end, like all night. And I'm just thinking like, oh, what if they want me to fight dogs for some reality TV show or some shit? Like crazy stuff was popping in my mind. But I guess the scariest thing to me at the time was just, I'm in jail in Mexico. I don't know when I'm getting out. I could be there for the whole weekend. I could be there, who knows how long. I don't make the rules. I don't even know why I'm arrested. My friends don't know who I am. So one thing I did learn was if you are in another country or just anywhere, I realized I don't know anybody's phone number at all. My parents changed their phone number. I don't know any of my friends' phone number. It's just in my phone. Once I add it, I don't look at it. So memorize somebody's phone number in case some random stuff happens to you. Anyways, I'm pacing the cell all night. I'm there from probably 8 p.m. until the next day. And this guy, they ended up letting this other, back to the other part of the story, they ended up letting the drunk guy go, who's the one who caused all this stuff. So he let him go after like a few hours. He could still barely stand up, but they let him go. So now I'm just in the cell by myself for a few hours, just pacing back and forth, wondering, what's gonna happen? What am I gonna do? And I was kind of thinking while this is happening, like, yes, this does suck, but I do kind of deserve it. I did drink when I said I wasn't going to. Had I stuck to my self-discipline, had I decided to stick to what I said I was gonna do, this wouldn't have been happening. if I wasn't drinking, I wouldn't have been hanging out near these people that are not the kind of people I want to be associated with. I want to be associated with winners. At the time, I felt I was hanging out with very high value people. So it was disappointing to find myself in that situation. So I'm realizing like, okay, this is my fault, personal accountability, I understand that. And then I started thinking like, okay, well, I can handle this. I've handled, I mean, this, I don't know what worse situations, it's not like it's the most terrible situation. I'm still alive, I'm still healthy. I've been in jail before, it's not the biggest deal. If I don't have to eat for 3 days, that's fine. I've fasted for longer than that before. So I just kind of realized that all the stuff that I've been doing over the years, like fasting, being able to meditate, being able to be present, being able to, traveling on my own and realizing that I can handle difficult situations. It really just made me kind of relax and just realize like I can handle this. It's not a big deal. The main thing was just I have to take personal accountability. Things happen. It is what it is now. Make decisions to be better after this. So I'm doing this for a couple hours, and then an older gentleman, maybe like 70 years old, super drunk, they bring him into the cell with me. He's from England. He's got a nice British accent. We're kind of talking. He's kind of mumbling, not really making sense. Turns out he called the police. Somebody robbed his stuff. And when the police wouldn't listen to him, he pushed one of the officers and he got put in jail. And I'm thinking like, yeah, you deserve to go to jail. You actually pushed a police officer. I didn't do anything. Like I was just near somebody who was doing something. But personal accountability, I didn't need to be drinking. Shit happens. I should not have been in that situation. But I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, okay, this guy's 70 years old, still getting super drunk. I don't want to be like that guy. And just the whole night was just situation after situation of me not wanting to be around these people. I'm not saying they're bad people. They're just, I don't want to be around those kind of people. I want to be around people that are going to push me to be better, to become a winner, to help me reach my goals, to be around people that inspire me for even better goals. So end up sitting with him for a few hours too. It gets to be, I'm here until, it gets to be like noon the next day. I guess, I didn't know the time exactly. I could just kind of tell based on the sun and my guessing on how long I've been there. And then they served lunch and they basically just put a big plastic bucket of freeze-dried hamburger, I guess, and they scooped it in a bowl and just dropped it in front of the cells. It felt like they were feeding you like dog food, or like you were a dog or some shit. I knew, like I said, I knew I was not gonna eat there or drink any water. I was just gonna fast and like worst case scenario, I was gonna deal with it. But I'm just thankful I was not there longer. Like then I would have had to have been there. And it just reflected again of I don't want to be in these situations. Keep walking this way, I guess. So it gets to be noon. They bring the lunch and stuff. I'm not eating it. The old guy, he doesn't have any phone numbers either. He's staying at a resort. He can't get a hold of his wife. And he doesn't know when he's getting out because he did push a police officer. But then it comes to be, after lunch, they come and get me. They finally say, all right, if you pay us, I think it was 10,000 pesos at the time, you can go free. And I was just thinking like, shit, man, I would have paid you double that just to let me go and never take me to jail. And then I had to walk home that day for, I had to walk like 2 miles to find a taxi to get me home. I was supposed to be at work at, 7 in the morning that day. So I already missed half the day. I can't really explain to them like, yeah, I was in jail all night in Mexico where I'm not even supposed to probably be. So it's just a crazy thing. The reason I wanted to share this story was obviously because I'm in Mexico now. It was a big event in my life. Looking back on it, it is a funny story to me now. I did learn a lot from it without that happening. I mean, who knows what would happen. It is a good learning experience. It did help me reflect on the people I want to be around. And for 6 months, 6 months after that, I was on my grind. I got in the best shape of my life, I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking any weed. And I was taking my health seriously, I was working harder. But if, like I said about the drifting part from outwitting the devil, eventually, I don't remember what happened, but eventually I drifted. I talked myself into drinking again, 6 months down the road. And I've mentioned this in other videos, how I'll tell myself I'm never gonna drink again, and then I do, and then I feel guilty, and then I'll binge eat, and then I'll find other reasons to drink 2 weeks later, and it's kind of just the habit. And it's the habit of drifting, because I guess I feel like, oh, I've already screwed up once, I might as well just keep going. I don't know what that is. That's something I'm still working on. But it did clean me up for a few months, and it was disappointing. I'm gonna walk by this noise here real quick. It just kept, it's something I recognize, that I will do it well for a long time. Still pretty loud. So now, I did well for like 6 months on my grind, then I drifted, and I really drifted hard. Like I started eating bad foods again. So it's something that I'm constantly aware of. So now I don't try to be so hard on myself when I say I'm never gonna drink again. I think it because if you've ever read like Alan Carr's Easy Way to Control Your Drinking, like if you're trying to do something with willpower, you only have so much willpower. You probably are going to fail at some point, which is how I was doing it. I was using willpower to quit drinking and to behave myself instead of just realizing that's not what I want in my life. It's not my purpose. It's not my goals. And since the beginning of this year, I haven't wanted to drink or smoke because I know it's not where I want to go. I don't really want to be associated with that. I'll go to the bars in Minneapolis sometimes to practice like cold approach or just to meet some new people. And a lot of times I don't want to be around those people either. They're very drunk, and I've already done that, I guess. But I guess I'll leave it there for today. Whole point of the story was just to, I guess, because it just showed me more about personal accountability. I could have blamed, and in the past I would have done this. I would have blamed that guy. I would have blamed the police for being corrupt, for arresting me, because I didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted to extort me for money, and I probably would have been very upset about it and just bitched and whined. But now I understand it's my fault. I did not need to be drinking. I said I wasn't going to, and then I betrayed my self-discipline, my word, for agreements also. Be impeccable with your word. If you say you're gonna do something, stick to it. So I absolutely deserved what happened. So point of that story, keep your word. And that, through travel, through just experiencing things, you start to realize what you are actually capable of. You've survived your worst days. You can survive this day. I guess this applies for sure if you're one of the guys who watches this who's gone through a breakup or a divorce or is in the process of some tough times. You've survived your worst days. You can survive this. Accept what's happening and just see what you can do to improve it. Are there things that you can do to take personal accountability to help you in this situation? Is there something that maybe you just need to accept so that you can move on from it? But that's all I got for today. It's one of my last days in Mexico. My lease is up in July in Minneapolis. I don't know what to do because I don't know if I want to sign a year lease or if I want to come down to Mexico or where I want to go. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. It's something I've been thinking about. So maybe look forward to me being in a new place in July. But I'll be back in Minneapolis this weekend. I'll make sure I keep posting, keep consistent. Let's see, what else was going on? Yeah, a lot of comments. I appreciate all the comments. I'm glad this has been helpful for a lot of you guys. Let me know what you want to see. I've seen a couple comments from people that have given me some good video ideas, so I appreciate that. I'll look at implementing those. Follow me on Instagram if you want to, keep a dialogue going. It's fantastic, all the comments that are coming in from YouTube. I do have trouble keeping up with all of them, so best way to reach out to me if you want I don't know, just chat, say hi. Let me know you're watching. I don't know, whatever you want to do. I'll link my Instagram below. Yeah, I'm gonna go home and watch a movie, I guess, kind of chill. Don't really feel like going out or anything. I'm enjoying this walk. It's super nice out. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll see you tomorrow.